Oleksandr Musienko is a military and political expert, political and legal advisor, and head of the Center for Military Law Research. He's a United24 Media ambassador and hosts his own very popular military analytical channel on YouTube in the Ukrainian language. Welcome to Silicon Curtain. Please like, subscribe, and definitely comment. It really does help people to discover the fantastic guests that we feature on the channel. And of course, if you're not subscribed to Oleksandr's channel and you do happen to speak Ukrainian, please do make sure you're subscribed to it. And please also check out the validated Ukrainian charities that appear in the description of the video. It is incredibly important to help Ukrainians remain resilient at this time. Oleksandr, welcome to the channel.
Hello, Jonathan. Thank you very much for having me. And thank you for United24 for this initiative, because we met once in Paris. We've been talking about this before this video, but of course, thank you for United24 for this connection. And please, for everyone, just to watch initiatives of this organization, non-profit organizations, which help for Ukrainians pretty much.
Yes, it's fantastic. I'm very grateful to this introduction and potentially to future collaborations as well. Again, it's that kind of time of the war, isn't it, where I think everybody who is involved in the military sphere, and certainly those who are involved in the information warfare, like myself, Operator Starsky, and others who I interact with, I think we've got this sense that we need to double down. We need to intensify at this point, because there's no clear end in sight. Russia has not yet collapsed. What's your take on it? I mean, how important is the information warfare, and what stage are we at in the war?
Very important, because what I've noticed and what I'm talking always, very often for these several months, especially when we are talking about something like, attrition warfare, for example, from the beginning of this year. Everyone talking about this, what's going to happen, because Russians will continue to produce their artillery shells, they continue to produce their tanks, ammunition, armored vehicles, and so on, jets. So North Korea supporting them, probably China supporting with something, yes, and Iran, and they look pretty strong. So come on, people from the West and Western politicians, maybe you will stop to support Ukraine, because look, on this situation, you do not have any chance, because Russians continue to increase producing of weapons, conscripts of people, mobilizing a lot from everywhere, from jails, from other countries, and so on, from Africa, Asia, Nepal, and other countries. So they look really strong, yes. And second point, when I noticed this and observed, I call this, I call this like symptomatic of Belousov. It's like something like, when Putin decided that Belousov will be gonna be Minister of Defense, and he resigned Shoigu. So a lot of people, they've been started to talking like, Belousov, he will be really good minister. He will fighting against corruption. He will be for order. He will do everything the best, and Russia will be continue for a long war for attrition. And what about Western countries? They are not preparing for this. And so the third point of this information warfare, Putin's statements that, look, Ukrainian forces need to withdraw from Kherson and Zaporizhia, the big cities, Ukrainian big cities in the southern part of Ukraine, which Russian forces doesn't control right now and don't occupy. So that means like ultimatum, blackmail, and so on. So why he do this? Why Putin do this? Because he understood that information psychological operations are very important right now. And look, everything against Putin now for these several weeks, few weeks. Of course, the situation were bad for Ukrainian forces few months ago, especially in winter, when Russian forces continue attacks on Avdiivka on the eastern front line. But now Ukrainian forces will get weapons, ammunition. Now we will have support from G7 countries, the most important economies of the world. Now we have strong support from United Kingdom, from United States, from Norway, different countries, Japan, and we will get this support. We are continue to supplying weapons to the front line, and we are continue fighting. And Russians has really great casualties, and they lost a lot of people. But Putin looks like very confident. Yes, someone I don't know in Netherlands or in France will say that, look, we are fighting with them. We are trying to do everything. We are continuing to increase sanctions. We gave Ukrainians $50 billion. We are continuing supplying weapons, and Putin so strong. So maybe we will say to our Ukrainian partners that you need to be prepared to the ceasefire on Putin's conditions, because he looks really strong. Yes, and it's like manipulation, like information psychological operation against people. And because he looks too confident. Why he is so confident? And so that's why that's very important to understand that informational warfare and everything what's happening right now, very important to explain, to say people that, look, what I'm trying to do, just explain, look, let's see this situation like this. How much Russians has resources? Why they are going to North Korea and asking, give us weapons, give us artillery systems, give us artillery shells, if they are so strong, if they are propaganda talking about? Why? Why they are asking Iran? Why they are increasing taxes right now for companies, for the business and ordinary people there, citizens? So why, if they are so confident, they continue fighting, and they do not have pretty much success right now on the front line? And so they didn't have success even when Ukrainian armed forces were in not so good situation, in bad situation in last winter. We didn't have enough weapons, we didn't have enough artillery shells, we didn't have enough people. So that was a problem. So I mean that we need to understand that Ukraine together, united with the Western countries, could win this war, even the war of attrition. And we need to decide what strategy gonna be in this point. We will just, we will just say that, look, maybe we will support Ukraine just for defense, just small, because Putin stronger. So we will just support them for defense, and they will stop Putin, and everything, or we will support them for offensive operation in the future, for when they will have this chance, and so on. So I think that's very important to explain people about this, that look, Ukraine and Europe and United States together are much stronger than Russia in North Korea even. Just we need to understand this, we need to be confident in this, and we need to see explain of Ukrainian example of Ukrainian right now fightings of armed forces of Ukraine, and that's need to be a point of inspiration, really good. So, and we need to explain that, look, you're not gonna be scary because of Putin, because of, look, some unknown drones hit Russians very, very expensive radar systems in Tatarstan, and not even in Tatarstan. And what? Nothing happened.
This is the S400, isn't it? This is the S400 system, and it's the long range
and radar system which they are using for their nuclear weapons. it's like for a system of nuclear deterrence in Russia. So I mean that we need to explain this. It's not so simple, but I thank you for this opportunity to it when we can talking about this, because it's very important also in information warfare, because Russians they are what they are doing, they are trying to share a lot of fakes, a lot of fakes, a lot of disinformation, and they are trying to show much better picture in Russia than they are.
So this is interesting because, first of all, we're seeing some extraordinary things. And there was a clip, I don't know if it's verified or not, that shows trainloads of T-62s being shipped towards the front line. This is an 80-year-old piece of kit that is, of course, going to have no defense against modern weapons. And now the ammunition famine, hopefully, is at most parts of the front over. That piece of hardware is really not going to have any chance against drones, let alone javelins and everything else. At the same time, you've got the US quite clearly trying to slow down the supply of F-16s. How do you explain what appears to be a fear of Russian strength when we're seeing evidence of Russian weakness on an almost daily basis?
Well, you know, the main thing and the main point here is, of course, nuclear weapons. That's because of Western fears, of course. Because look, people afraid. Let's speak honestly. We do not know exactly, and we do not know when Putin could decide to use this nukes, tactical nuclear weapons, probably. He could or not. And I think that the main fear it's about nuclear deterrence. And also, you know that unfortunately, what I noticed that uh, people, think tanks, analytics, politicians in United States, for example, they didn't change this picture from the Cold War era. What I mean that look, they're thinking right now that Russia so strong like Soviet Union used to be. The same power, so they are so powerful, and so we need to think and we need to be smart, you know, like it's like Lawrence Friedman wrote in his book about commanders. He wrote that look, from the end of the World War II, every war between great powers, it's like how to deterrence nuclear war. What we're gonna do? Where are these red lines? So we are not talking about total war. We are not just talking about great war like used to be in World War II. Yes, and we are talking just about war not so big with some resources, with some part of resources. So we need to be smart how we can need to have victory without a lot of resources and without the fear of that Russia will use nuclear weapons. But I think that it's very important to change this mind. That look, okay, of course, Russians they have nuclear weapons. Okay, I understand this. That could be a fear. But look on the examples right now. Ukrainian forces strike on Russian territory with drones. Now on the Belgorod city, Belgorod Oblast with Western weapons, and nothing happens. So we are continuing this. So I think that now we need to change this point, this mindset. We are thinking that Russians so great, so powerful, like Soviet Union used to be. And I understand that some politicians in United States, probably in Germany, especially, yes, they are thinking that look, if we are now giving everything for Ukrainians, probably for liberation of Crimea, what Russia gonna do? If Putin will use nuclear weapons and if he will launch nuclear Iskander missile somewhere on Ukrainian territory or somewhere probably on Vilnius to Lithuania or Latvia. Yes, from Belarus, where they also have this Iskander missiles. What's gonna happen? And so I think that the main fears right now, but I think that we need to change this mind. That's very hard because I understand. I read a lot of books and a lot of pieces, a lot of papers about how to deter Soviet Union. Plans, how and how do not cross this red line when it's gonna be so. But look right now, another example. Putin's trying to make reconstruction of Caribbean crisis, and he sent one submarine, nuclear submarine, Kazan, and one ship, Admiral Grushko, to Cuba. And what? And also some supporting ships. So what? That's so scary. I think that's he looks funny right now for Americans probably. So we need to stop to fear Russia. To understand that Ukraine with our Western partners could do this, but it's like I think that. There are not enough right now public opinions in media and public influencer, for especially in the United States, which can say that, look, yes, we can say that deterrence, we are talking about deterrence, but we can cross another red line. For example, if we cross a red line with the weapons which we can use on the Belgrade Oblast, we can use it, for example, against Rostov military air bases or something like this, and cross these red lines. And also about Crimea the same.
And Putin's confidence. Now, he surrounds himself by people who are afraid of him, people who are going to tell him what he wants to hear. His confidence may well come from a false impression of reality and a false impression of the competence and capabilities of the Russian forces. But two things occurred, I think, in the last week that may be getting through to him. And I think that it's interesting to hear your point of view. One is the Kharkiv offensive. We're not sure of what its objectives were, but it seems to be failing profoundly, as many other initiatives have failed over the last couple of years. The other one, of course, is the US, for the first time, really starting to impose secondary sanctions, really seriously imposing sanctions. And almost immediately, we see a sort of economic crisis of some sort. And it is rumored, of course, that there were sort of panic buying of currency. Do you think these two incidents have got through to Putin? And do we need a lot more of these to convince him that he cannot win in Ukraine?
You know, I think that for him, for Putin, it seems to me that like this war, it looks like the sense of his life, the sense of his life in policy, like a Russian leader. Because for him, that's very important to show. Look, we are pretty strong. We can, we can build new Russian empire right now, and we can have a huge influence on European countries, especially on Eastern and Central Europe. And he really thinks about this. He really is thinking about this in these categories. But of course, when we are talking how to stop this war and how to stop this, and this point when Putin will withdraw his forces and stop this aggression. Of course, I think that very important here 2 points. First point, supporting armed forces of Ukraine and supplying more weapons. Why I am talking about weapons? You know, that's because if we have enough weapons, we can stop Russians. Russians have huge casualties. They are looking weakness, and they lost a lot of their people. So they need to understand that when they mobilizing more, people probably in Russia will ask him that, look, what's going to happen to Putin promised that this war will be short. It will be like special warfare operation, self-called, and nothing more. But now we have a war. So weapons and supporting the process. Probably you know that I support initiatives which President of France Macron stated about foreign soldiers in Ukraine, instructors, and so on. We need to begin this, and we need to start from this point. Let's look. Probably France, Denmark, Netherlands, Baltic countries, countries of Northern Europe, maybe United Kingdom will send some troops. And we can begin from instructors. Okay, they will train Ukrainian forces here. Look, like, for example, Rainmatter did, a German company. They open right now some facilities in Ukraine, which will repair Marders, which repair Leopard tanks, and so on here. But that's very important. That's like, you know, increased confidence from our partners in Ukraine. So it's like sending troops. That's also very important. Not in actions right now. They are not going to be in actions, but there will be on the western part of Ukraine or the central part of Ukraine, and will do something for helping Ukrainian forces. And of course, sanctions. Now, I expect and I observing how European Union countries will adopt these sanctions, which United States and Britain did. Yes, so I expect that that's going to be very important. And so that's the main two parts. The third part, very important, how to divide Russian connections with North Korea, China, and their bakers, especially North Korea, because they're getting really strong support, especially in artillery shells from North Korea. And China, not so easy, because we do not have, and we do not see, you know, evidences of direct supplying weapons. When I'm saying weapons, I mean artillery shells, I mean artillery systems, tanks, military vehicles, anything. Yes, they could. I don't know. Maybe, maybe, you know, we will see these evidences in the future. So that's will be very interesting to know about this. But now we are talking about dual uses systems that China is supplying to Russia through third countries like United Arab Emirates and so on. And so we need to think how to divide them. And in this point, very important, of course, in Ukraine, here we are disturbing a little bit about Chinese peace plan, you know, and about Chinese initiatives, because we are not saying that we want to have China like enemy, you know, no, but we want to see when we are talking about some peace negotiations and process, we need to understand that if you are neutral, so you are neutral. But if you are neutral, but you are supporting Russia, you are not neutral. You are supporting Russia. And so that's also a very important point, how to divide them, because unfortunately, we had this peace summit in Switzerland. I think that that's a really good summit and very useful for Ukraine, because now we can show that Ukraine has their own plan. Please do not, because you know that 1 year ago, even foreign minister from Iraq, he told that, look, Iraq could help you could help you to write the peace plan with Russia. That's amazing thing. So come on, stop, and Ukraine could have their own plan, and we showed this. But still, we can see that some countries, the China and Russia, they have some influence on countries from self-called global south. And so we need also to think about these three things: weapons and supplying troops, probably from our Western partners, sanctions, and how to divide Russians with their bakers, and thinking how to increase unity between Ukraine and our bakers.
And talking of backers, it's interesting, isn't it? Because Belousov has been appointed. The Z Patriots had huge expectations that he was going to transform the whole vertical system, get rid of corruption. And of course, that may not even have been the point. And of course, it's impossible to reform such a system. It's not a bug, it's a feature, as they say, of the entire system. But there have been some signs of innovation in the Russian military. Crude, and of course it's brutal weapons they're innovating, but glide bombs. And of course, it's been said that they are improving their electronic warfare and drone warfare. This innovation, however, is it entirely dependent on their partners? They may be able to innovate techniques, but things like the fins for glide bombs, the components for drones, Russia cannot, I believe, manufacture these by itself.
Exactly, exactly. You know that if we are talking about drones, and if we are talking about anti-drone systems, electronic warfare, Ukraine has begun to use these systems from the 2015. And when Russian aggression against Ukraine just began from from Donbass. And then in 2022, 2023, we began to use drones in a, very, very in a big component. So, and I can say that in and what Russians did, they just stole this idea, and now they are trying to use a lot of drones. Nevertheless, they are having some artillery systems, artillery shells. They are having their military jets, military planes. They're using glided bombs and so on, but they're using drones. Because I think that drones, they're transformate warfare right now. And so there's gonna be a huge role in the future. But of course, when we are talking about producing these drones, Russians, they are not independent in this. Uh, they they've been trying to do this. They've been trying to do something like ideas like Skolkovo. It's like some like in Silicon Valley in California in United
It's
States.
Medvedev's tech park, isn't it?
Yeah. Medvedev. Yeah. Nothing happens, and they even been trying to manufacture their own chips. Nothing happens. So of course, they need to supply this from China, from other countries, because they didn't change this. And look, now they are producing something like between 80 to 90 missiles per month, per every month, different types of missiles, cruise missiles and also ballistic missiles. In every missile, when this missile strike in Ukraine, and we are trying to look what's inside of these missiles, we can find some technologies from China, and even from Western countries too. Unfortunately, I understand dual using, or even when we are talking about drones, why that's so hard to understand in which company, which way, which lines, for what you need to put sanctions and increase sanctions. Because look, some local companies from Ukraine, for example. I want to supply something to other country. I'm producing, manufacture something, some chip. You can use this in your civil ordinary life, but you can use this even no, not dual using. It's only for civil. So that's the dangers of drones, and they're producing that some technologies Russians could bind, illegal, because they have ties with some companies, and so they using this. But if we are talking about missiles, you need to have some dual using components. So what we can say is that every country has a mechanism of export control for these technologies, and they are observing, they are looking what you've been exporting and to what country, and for which using, forward using. So I think that that's very important to find and to cut these lines of supplying from some Western countries to third countries, to Turkey, United Arab Emirates, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, somewhere, where they from there then supplying to Russia. And if we will cut these lines, if we will break this, so I think that Russians will have a huge problems, very big problems in this, because without these components, they cannot produce missiles. I'm almost confident.
Well, we talked at the start of our conversation about the perceived risk of nuclear escalation, which does seem to be influencing Berlin and Washington, especially, to delay the delivery of certain capabilities and essentially to drag the war out and turn it into the attritional war we've seen. The perception on their side might be that that is limiting risk. On the other side, we see that the extremely rapid evolution of drone warfare, the capabilities, the tactics, and the technologies are moving not month on month, but week on week.
Yeah.
And isn't there a risk that if the war drags on for another year, another 2 years, not just Russia, but China and other authoritarian regimes are going to develop incredible learnings which they can implement, things like AI-driven drone swarms, something that was science fiction just a few years ago, is starting to become a reality. And this war is providing a sort of, almost like a sort of accelerant or steroids for the development of this warfare.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, because now we can see what we can see. Every war, every big war, increasing and moving faster, technological breakthrough. It's always happened. During World War II, we saw, first missiles, yes, from German FAU and so on, and we saw new Messerschmitts, yes, that was so during World War One, we saw tank, yes, which been manufactured and produced by British engineers, and every war, during every big war, we can see this breakthrough. And of course, now it's very important to understand that Chinese officers, Chinese politicians, Chinese experts, they observing, they are looking. I'm almost confident they are reading everything. They are getting information from a situation on the front line in Ukraine. I don't know, every day. And they try to understand and to teach how to use their army in the future. And of course, they will think about this, because I think that when we are talking about drones, that's very useful technology, but of course dangerous when we are talking about our enemies. Because when they can do some breakthrough in this, drone swarms, for example, different any other technologies, and the risks that that's very cheapest technology. You don't need to spend and to pay $5 million for cruise missile for, I don't know, for 1,000 miles or something like this. You can produce drones, and you can produce drones for 150,000 American dollars. And this drone will fly somewhere for 3,000 kilometers. And so I can see that transformation of drones and their influence on warfare and on the situation on the front line. That's because of the cheapest and some simple technology. And if we are gonna think in how to use them, and of course Chinese, they will study, they will teach how they can use them in the future. So that could be a new risk for everyone. So I think that what we can need to do in this situation, our Ukrainian breakthrough with our Western partners need to be first. We need to be on the top in this. Okay, Russians want to be in competitions with us. Okay, Chinese wants to be, okay, let them do this, but we will be winner in this competition. That's the main things what we, because every army right now have tanks or have not every army, but some armies, they have missiles, they have planes. But when we are talking about F-35 and when we are talking about Su-34, we understand the difference. F-35 better. When we are talking about Abrams, new tank is better than T-90 and so on. So just in this, we need to be better.
And there's this economic asymmetry that you've talked about there, that sort of the unit cost and the cycle of innovation, the cost of innovation is coming down dramatically. And of course, Ukraine's entrepreneurial, tech entrepreneurial capabilities, as well as the culture of communication, the horizontal, far less hierarchical society, much more fluid communications really help this evolution. That is, of course, in Ukraine's favor at the moment. It's in favor of the Allies. But there is a risk, isn't there, that Russia can learn this asymmetrical economics of the new warfare and arm proxies around the world to target Western assets. It doesn't need to even do that directly. And it seems there's a real risk of this happening.
Yeah, that could happen. But look, Ukraine have a good experience and a good example in this, because our special forces, our defense intelligence, they've been even in Sudan, and they captured there some mercenaries from Wagner groups. They've been Russians. They're in Sudan or somewhere in Syria and so on. So I think that we can do some actions and operations against these proxies groups and against the Wagner mercenaries, mercenaries from different these military groups in Africa, in Asia. We have good examples. So I think that we can speak even about united operations with our partners. So I think that we need to, Russians didn't expect that Ukrainian special forces will capture their Wagner's groups in Sudan. They didn't expect. They didn't expect that we will do this some in other parts of Africa and African countries. So you know that we do not be afraid of them. We need just to understand that, look, if we will have a goal to stop Russians and we need to stop this aggression and we need to save Europe also, not just Ukraine, we need to show them that, look, this is red lines. You cannot cross this. You need to stop this. And if we will show them this for Wagner groups, for everyone, for their proxies, through all over the world, I think that they will calm a little bit, because they will see this, and so you can have a good experience in this. And I think that we can share, or we can also to communicate with our partners how to increase this good experience together.
And of course, again, coming back to Washington and Berlin, they have been very good at creating self-imposed red lines, imagined red lines, which has not necessarily been useful. One of those red lines that's been in place for, I think it's almost 10 years, is the absolute restriction on providing Western weapons to the Azov groups. Now, of course, going back to its original founding, there was a preponderance of far right at the very founding, the inception of the Azov battalions after the Maidan. But of course, it's been subsumed into the Ukrainian army and reformed and transformed. And it's taken until now for the US to remove these restrictions. The first question is, why has it taken so long? But the second question is, does this send a really strong signal to Russia that finally the US is getting serious in backing Ukraine to win?
Sure, I'm confident in this because look, first, Russians in this example, they did a false accusation about Azov groups because they called them like neo-fascist group, far-right neo-fascist group. So that's why United States prohibited to supply weapons for Azov battalions. But now we have the decision that Azov, our Azov brigades, because Azov, they have right now brigades in armed forces of Ukraine and also in National Guard of Ukraine. And they are not like, like mercenaries or something like this. No, they are in army, they are in army structure, they are, yeah, so that's very important to understand. And they are not neo-fascist groups. That's also very important to understand. And that's very good that our American friends, they understood this. And that's also, dismissed all false accusations from Russia that looks, Ukrainians, they have neo-fascist groups, neo-Nazi in army or somewhere, and so on and so on. No, because now we have a decision from the United States, positive decision that Azov battalions could use and Azov brigades could use American weapons. So that's very strong signal. That also show bad examples of Russian propagandas. And so I think that what I notice right now and what I can see is that, of course, now we hear more voices in United States. Nevertheless, that's a very hard period right now because of elections. I understand this. For supporting Ukraine. And also, we need to think how to cross and how to remove, how to dismiss all red lines for Ukraine armed forces for using also weapons and so on. And that will be also a very positive sign. You know that Putin just need to see that Western supporters and backers right now with Ukraine, they are here, they are confident in Ukrainian victory, they are confident in what they are doing right now, and Putin need to understand that he just couldn't win this war. And so that's very important, and probably that will do something in Russia, in internal process in Russia. Maybe they will change their minds in some times that no, they are not empire more. They couldn't be empire more because look, imagine what's gonna happen if we've been talking about restoring empires in the world. What Putin thinking that we are living in 19th century. Every normal country, nations, they live in 21st century. They're thinking about different issues, but they are not thinking how to, I don't know, how to get more lands, how to get more territories. So I think that we need to change these minds also, and I believe in some time Russians will understand this.
Well, the last question really links off from that. In your view, what is the most likely way this war ends? I mean, feel free to say there's no way to predict it, but is it more likely to end on the battlefield with a catastrophic defeat of Russia and a collapse of its armies, like was seen in 1917, that precipitated its dropping out of the First World War and making a separate peace treaty with Germany? Or are we likely to see some kind of economic collapse in Russia as the more likely way in which Ukrainian victory is to be achieved?
You know that we saw this in history. You mentioned about 1917 and World War One. I can say that that was a two points, the two factors there, because of Russian army didn't have any success and victories, and because of economic situation in Russian Empire. So the 2 points. Probably the same could happen right now. Not right now in this year, but in the nearest future, I think. Because look, from one side we can see strong system with a leader, authoritarian leader, Putin. System he looks like confident and so on. But from the other side, 1 year ago, Prigozhin almost did a coup in Russia, so strong system with FSB, former KGB, with everything, that he almost was near Moscow with his supporters. So who knows? Maybe we will see in the next year or in 2026 new Prigozhin or someone like him who will move and who will say that, look, we need to do something and we need to change the situation. And maybe we can say that Russia will be in a huge internal crisis because of this, even with the signs of civil war there. And so this could be also and make a huge influence on the situation on the front line. Because when Russian soldiers will see this, they will understand that they have a huge problem there in Russia and economic collapse. What they gonna do? And how Russia will pay for these soldiers? They will pay in ruble, Russian currency. And what you can buy for this ruble? You need to pay in dollars probably, or in euro, in something. But when you will, where you can change this, exchange this on the black market somewhere, that's very hard. So I think that economic collapse, soldiers' moods, the situation on the front line, more strongest position of Ukrainian forces on the front line, that will be, you know, the main components of this future victory of Ukraine. But we need to believe and we need to remember that Russia and Putin, they're trying to change our minds and they're trying to say that, look, Ukraine will have no chances to change the situation because Russians will occupy this territory. Ukraine do not have enough power, so let to go to the negotiation table and talk about ceasefire on Russian conditions. We do not need to believe and think in this way.
That's very good to hear, and we'll be covering the both the peace summit in more detail in other interviews, and of course Putin's ultimatum, not really a peace proposal, more of a peace threat. I think that he listed in his speech. It's entirely unrealistic, and it's good that Ukraine be rejecting that. Oleksandr, thank you so much. I sincerely hope that we get the chance to speak again. I will add your channel definitely to my list. Unfortunately, my Ukrainian is not great, but hopefully I'll get a translation, AI translation, that I can consume your excellent materials as well. Thank you so much for coming on the channel.
Thank you very much.